So we go green in Baku, and it looks like Scott's got a bit of wheel spin from the start, so it looks like Primus Gaming's got the better start out of the two McLaren drivers. Tamoul's trying to go around the outside of Scott, but can he make it work? No, Scott's going to hold on to P2. Have we got anything else going down though? It looks like Primus Gaming is going to hold on to the lead at the moment. So Marsh is making a few positions. Pazuzu's lost a few positions now. Back of it to P8 he goes in the Red Bull. But it looks like it's pretty clean. As soon as I say that, we've got yellow flags. I think that's Warhead in the Aston Martin. It's gone off at the back. Looks like Pazuzu is going side by side with the AlphaTauri of Big Bag. And Big Bag's hit the wall. And it looks like he's nearly got Williams with him. And hopefully that Ferrari doesn't have damage in it. It looks like Scott has lost P2. Tamoul is now up into P2 now. And Primus Gaming has already pulled a 1.2 second lead because of that mistake from his teammate. And Swinner's now going to go around the outside. And he's up into third place now.
Brilliant move by Swinners. I'm trying to see whether Scott has damage or not. I'm really not sure. Maybe he's just got not really much confidence in himself in the first few laps of this race. And yeah, in the first few corners of this race in heavy fuel, but he does look like he's understeering quite a bit. So maybe that McLaren sustained damage and that we didn't see in those first few laps. And I've seen Primus, like, yeah, he's minus 1.8 laps of fuel. That is going to require several safety cars to fix itself. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of interesting for Primus that he's. That's Cameron, I think, is gone.
He's lost his front wing. I think that was that incident we saw earlier on at turn 3. Cameron without a front wing. We've got yellow flags again. I think that's Flourish has gone off. Yes, he has. He had a very tough qualifying session. And his
Primus is out.
Tough as well. And Primus is out. He has crashed. At that final corner, I said people were going to have problems. We've got a virtual safety car. And that is Primus Gaming out of the race. Marsh just about avoiding the wall there. But you can see the McLaren of Primus out at the final corner. And
Tamoul got caught up in it. Tamoul got caught up in it as well. Primus must have lost his car, and then Tamoul must have hit the back of him, because whilst that went on, Swinners managed to get past Tamoul, and we have 4 of the top 6 in the pits already. Tamoul, Scott, Hicklin, Pazuzu, all in the pits with damage, and suddenly we have Swinners and Vision in 1-2, and Swinners with a massive lead of 2 seconds, as Hicklin has gone for the hards.
You can't be surprised at this point. But what is a big shock in this race then is one of the championship protagonists, the man who was on pole, Primus Gaming, already out of the race after that crash at the final corner, which has seen also multiple drivers take damage as well on the first lap. But that is heartbreaking for Primus to already be out of the race on lap 1.
Yeah. Oh my word! Look at the position changes. By the way, this is the top 9. Look how many positions they've all gained. It's a crazy start here at Baku.
Swinners, the championship leader, already into the lead of the race then. Obviously going for the ultimate strategy. He has stayed out. We've seen quite a few people coming in. Vision's got a drive-through penalty for speeding under this virtual safety car. And unfortunately, he is going to have to come in within 3 laps to get that serve. But this is just going to help Swinners even more now, because he's already got a 2.1 second gap lead as the championship leader. And looking to extend it as well.
Yeah, that is. I mean, everything's come up Swinners in that first lap, really, hasn't it? Scott's damage. That brilliant move around the outside of Scott. And then, of course, Primus losing the car and Tamoul getting damage. I don't know whether that was with the incident with Primus or just got damage coming off his own accord in that lap. And then let alone that, Vision's drive-through penalty. Swinners has a gigantic lead and is on the best starting tyre of the both of them. So he's looking really, really good as Swinners. Also looking good at Big Bag and Russell. And at the moment, it's going to be with Vision's drive-through penalty, a double Williams podium as it stands.
That was very close. JPP Gaming having a moment out the final corner, just like Swinners did, and just about catching it as Popcorn Joe now goes through, and Russell's gone into the pit lane, presumably with damage.
Yeah, maybe. And that's promoted some other drivers as well. And I'll tell you who has probably had the best start out of anyone. Steve-O. Steve-O's going to be a P3 when switching because it's drive-through penalty. How has he ended up there? That is, I'm so confused.
Primus Gaming has gone into the chat and said he's lost the rear. I think that's what you're about to mention. Is got hit in the rear as well when he recorrects his car. So
yeah, that'll be why Tamoul got. Yeah, that's why Tamoul had to pit. That explains that. Yeah, Tamoul must have got damage from that incident. But wow, what a start! And yeah, I mean that is wow. We 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pit stops already we've had in this race, all with wing changes. That is
Indeed, and
Yeah.
only 3 laps in out of 26 in this race. It's championship leader Swinners who takes the lead then of this race. DRS enabled, but Swinners is definitely not going to be under threat from behind from Vision. Same with Vision with Big Bag 4 seconds now behind. We've got Yellow
Yellow
Flag
flag
at
set to 2.
Hicklin.
Oh my
he's
god,
going-
he's driving backwards.
Oh
He's
my
oh
goodness
no,
me.
oh my god.
Oh my god. And we've got a safety car. I
What
caught
have
the
I
end of
just
that.
seen?
What on earth did I just see there? My head is
Was
gone.
it just me that saw Hicklin
I saw
drive
that.
backwards through the castle and take out Pazuzu? Oh
Poor
my
Pazuzu.
god.
We've got a full safety car here. Flores just about missing that, but you'd normally see that in practice lobbies. Not a full race, as Russell has crashed as well.
Oh my
Behind the
god.
safety car, doing a George Russell,
Oh
crashing
my
behind the
God.
safety car, and that's another car. Well, that's my 17 car prediction already gone, because we're now down to P16, but I can't believe what I've just seen. I mean, if anyone's getting clipped that was brilliant, but that is
I'm
really
recording that. I'm
shafted
recording that. Oh my god.
I can't believe what to say.
Yeah, I watched it, but oh my god.
I caught the end of it on stream, so but yeah, we've got a safety car on lap 4 here. That's the technically second safety car of the race, because we had a virtual safety car for Primus Gaming and crashed, and now we've got a safety car for the retirement of SLR Hicklin.
I really want
RSF
to know
Pazuzu.
what he was thinking. I really want to know what he was thinking when he drove backwards up to the castle. Oh my god. Wow.
So we've seen quite a few drivers coming to the pit lane now, behind this second safety
And
car.
suddenly Scott's back into the top 5 after getting damage on lap 1.
Yeah,
With
indeed he
fresher
is.
tyres than the Claw guys ahead of him.
Technically, he is in the net race lead, but obviously long way to go. How long do you think
There's
it can take those mediums?
Oh, I'll tell you to be honest, I'd say everyone in the top few positions has one stop to make. So no. Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't say he's in the net race lead, but he is in a good position though. I'll tell you who else has found his way into a good position. He's doing a last to first challenge at the moment. Popcorn Joe, he started 18th. As Pazuzu, I'm going to cover in the
Yeah.
expletives. What a joke! Why is he driving the wrong way?
Yeah.
I can't help but feel Hicklin's going to be met with quite a hefty penalty for that.
Unfortunately,
That
you
is-
have to agree. But obviously, that one is down to the Division 4 stewards, which are gonna. Their eyes are going to be wide open for that incident, at the very least.
Yeah, one of my mates, Connor, did full steward. I might have to text him a video of what I've just seen. Say have
Yeah.
fun stewarding this.
The stewards have had a very busy weekend so far, and obviously we've got 2 more races to go this weekend.
It's Baku. That is the one track that you do not want to steward. Yeah, and that's the most unique. That's one of the most unique incidents I've seen. I mean, yeah. I think Hicklin with a bit of a moment of madness, and that's caused both of them to retire and bring out the safety car.
You mentioned Popcorn Joe, who's had a decent, a very good start. Another person who's had a good start, as Hicklin has left after that incident, is Maxwell as well. We always mention his drives through the field, which we always, somehow, it's normally always us that commentate on them. He's
Like
P3
Moses
at the moment.
parting. He's like Moses parting the water, as everyone else is just blown up ahead of him. Mega start there from.
Indeed.
Mega start there from that. So I'm really really happy that I've watched this race. Now after that, that's made my day. That
Yeah.
I'm sorry Pazuzu, but like you're gonna look back at that and laugh.
Yeah, I'm sure that's going to make the season montage. Oh. So then, lap 5 of 26 of this race, safety car should be in at the end of this lap, and then we can get back to green flag racing. It is Swinners 28 who is in the lead of the race and the lead of the championship as well, and looking to extend it with, I know exactly what you're still laughing at, as Maxwell is P3 and P2 in the championship, looking to try and close the gap at the top as well. But we'll see, when does Swinners go? Is he going to go late to maybe not give a toe to the cars behind him, depending on what setups they're running. Maybe the car behind could be running a lower wing setup, which is definitely going to help them down the straight. We saw SLR Charlie in Division 3 is obviously running quite a low wing setup, which definitely helps him down the straight. SLR isn't at the end of the lap.
Indeed it is. And yeah, I think Swinners, he's going to want to go. Well, interestingly with Swinners is we've got Vision's got to start his drive-through still, so with Swinners here, it's going to be really just. He can kind of just. He's not really going to be too worried about the car behind him. And yeah, but yeah, in the yeah. I mean, genuinely unlucky. I'm sure you'll come back stronger next week and showing some decent pace so far. But as Vision, I think he's peeling into service drive-through now. This is going to be really. It's going to be a bit of an interesting one about whether it does actually let him serve it.
We've got yellows again. Who is that? That's JPP Gaming, who has lost his front wing. I think he thought the pack has already went, and he's gone straight into the back of somebody who's lost his front wing. And it looks like Big Bag's now making some positions on Cameron. He's gone down the inside, and Big Bag's on very deep, going into turn 2, and he can lose more position. Cameron's hit the wall, and he's definitely got damage from that. He's going to lose all the positions he has just gained. But Swinners with a dream restart. He saw the hash of Vision coming to the pit lane to serve his drive-through, and has already got a 1.5 second lead to Maxwell, who is now P2. His teammate Popcorn Joe up in P3. It's a very good day for Alpine so far, do you think?
Yeah, it is looking incredibly good. And Maxwell pulling away from Popcorn Joe as well, consolidating his podium position. I mean, what a restart as well and what a race so far from Tamol as a recovery as well after that lap 1 damage. He's in P5. He is on a set of softs, so they will die quite quickly, but he is going to be able to pit earlier than the others, potentially a dark horse with that undercut. But Swinners is absolutely bolted ahead of Maxwell, absolutely bolted. 2.8 seconds so far, the gap.
Indeed it is, and we'll see when those soft compound tyres start to die off for Tamol. He's having a pretty quick restart, but he's going to need to try and make up many positions as he can, as Cameron is still cruising around with that no front winger. Swinners is flying away. 3.2 seconds it is, the lap after the restart, and he is absolutely flying as the championship leader. Out in front.
There's yellow flag. Oh man, Maxwell.
Oh my goodness me, that's a huge crash. And that's another 2 or even 3 cars out. And whoa, that and another safety car. And I think we're going to. Oh my goodness me. I'm gobsmacked with what I've just seen with that crash. That was absolutely huge. So that is Maxwell and Tamol now out of the race after that massive crash at the final corner. I did say that. A lot of drivers have lost it through that corner so far, and definitely wouldn't be the last of the cars we see there. And that's another 2 that have lost it out of that corner, and both out of the race. And we're now down to 13 in this Division 4 race, and a second safety car of the race. But
as Maxwell in the chat has just said, "Whoops." I guess that's one way of putting it. That is
keep it simple, yeah.
As Scott is... Oh my god, as Popcorn Joe gets a drive-through for speeding under the safety car. Oh, okay.
Having a lot of Gary Neville moments this evening. Another driver with a drive-through speeding under safety car. And they will have to come in at the end, green flag. And I think it's just the curse of Swinners being in the lead. And he nearly loses it through the castle section as soon as I say that. Whoever's behind him seems to just keep getting drive-throughs, and that's definitely what he's going to want to see. Not what we want to see, of course. But we're going to see more drivers come into the pit lane, and well, the predicted 1-stop strategy is definitely going to be thrown out the window now. I think it would be 2 or even 3-stop strategy we even see.
Yeah, the issue is though, if you're the guys on the mediums that have just started the race, is what do? I mean, like, if you pit, then you lose the track position to the guys that pit under the first safety car, and you still have to make another pit stop unless you go hards, and I mean the hards are awful, so yeah, I mean, I think probably the best option, especially for Swinners, given the pace he's shown so far, is really just to stay out, I think. You stay out, you wait for more carnage to happen, gradually hopefully get closer and closer to that pit window for a set of softs. He didn't pit under the first, so there's no reason to pit under this one. As I think Popcorn Joe might be thinking he can serve his drive-through here, but he's going to find out that he is going to be making a pit stop.
See Popcorn Joe coming into the pit lane, picking up that drive-through penalty, and he's yeah, obviously strapping on a new set of soft compound tyres.
I guess that is essentially a completely free pit stop, though. He's not served his drive-through, but he has... Because obviously, like, when he serves his drive-through, it's either going to be from P2 or from P9 here, and so that's... So essentially, he's only had, like, a 3-second pit stop, and he's put on a set of fresh softs. So yeah, I think that's a decent decision there from Popcorn Joe with that pit stop. And actually, I tell you what, Scott's in a really good position with the others not pitting. Because he's pit on lap 6 under the safety car, and he could take those tyres to the end.
He definitely
It'd be a bit of a
he can.
stretch for Steve-O, Marsh, and Big Bag to take those tyres to the end. But they're also in a good position as well. Yeah, and he can go for another set of mediums as well, whereas the two ahead of him have to go for a set of softs, or maybe a set of hards. And so, yeah, I mean, if there's a safety car in about 5 or so laps, then Bag right in the money. Roscoe's as well. And yeah, I mean, this is several different strategies. I mean, it's not all we like to see. We don't like to see so many crashes. I mean, I may have lost composure in the first one, but that's just because it was just such a ridiculous crash. But yeah, I mean, we've seen incidents and then collateral damage, with of course ghosting being off, causing massive.
So then, safety car should be at the end of
chaos.
the next lap, I believe. It'll be end of lap 9. So we get underway on lap 10. At 26 it'll be. Back to green flag. But it is Swinners who still leads then, who's been a driver that has been able to avoid all the chaos that has gone on so far in this race. With HP Dan behind him as well. Let's get the positions graphic up. Driver who's made the most positions is Steve-O and Marsh, who are obviously getting knocked out in Q2. Marsh having that crash has been able to keep it out of the barriers, thankfully, and he's going to keep going on and maybe gain a few more positions. Obviously, a driver who has came in to make a pit stop so far will definitely, well, like you said, it would be a bit of a push to make it to the end, but I don't think they'll be able to. Do you think?
I tell you, he's doing well, and it is going to go to the end on hard compound tyres on the absolute goated 4-stop strategy is JPP Gaming. Some drivers have pitted no times at all. Swinners, it's with HP Dan Vision. I mean, he served his drive-through, but it's technically not a pit stop. The JPP game 4 times, and he's still back in the race, and he is on hards that will go to the end of the race.
So the safety car should be in the end of this lap, as the pack has now fully caught up. 13 drivers remaining in this race. If you just joined us, then welcome. It has been a pretty chaotic first 9 laps of this race. We've had a virtual safety car because of the pulsar to Primus Gaming having a crash at the final corner. First full safety car came out after Hicklin had an incident at the castle section, which took him and Pazuzu unfortunately out of the race. We saw Russell crash behind the safety car a few corners later, and then we've had this safety car now for an incident involving Maxwell and Tamol at the final corner as well. Tamol just a sitting duck going straight into Maxwell's car, nothing he could do at all, and now we should be getting back underway at the end of this lap, and hopefully we don't see any more casualties.
Indeed, that is what we are all hoping for, and yeah, it'd be nice to get a few laps of clean racing with that safety car. But I mean, yeah, it's just showing just how difficult this track is. It is so easy to lose the back end here, so easy to hit walls, so easy to crash, and yeah, I mean, credit to all of the guys who end up finishing this race, because yeah, it is one of the hardest tracks on the calendar over a full race distance, and that is not going to be the last safety car we see. That is for sure.
Indeed. As the Mercedes AMG GTR safety car is going to come in at the end of this lap, and we are going to get back underway. It is going to be championship leader Swinners who's going to take us away then for this second safety car restart. And can he do the exact same what he did on the previous restart? We will see then. Obviously, we've got him to service drive-through penalty probably at the end of this lap, but can Smith HB Dan maybe stay on the back of Swinners this time? Swinners had pretty easy last time because of obviously Vision coming into the pit lane to service drive-through, but this time he's going to have a hungry Smith HB Dan and another that want to get through. How late is Swinners going to go?
Yeah, last time he managed to catch the car behind napping, and he has done that this time as well. And Smith HB Dan's under a bit more pressure from Steve-O than he's putting ahead on Swinners. as we go underway here.
That's a green
As
flag. We go, then.
As is there anybody making moves? No, that the only change is Popcorn Joe serving his drive-through penalty. But Roscoe potentially on the back of Warhead. But Ashley's vision around the outside of Roscoe gets the move done.
Yeah, Roscoe had a moment out of the exit of turn 1. Now Scott's right on the back of him. Cameron's X'd for some reason. I think he might have disconnected. Scott's now back through into... Yeah, Roscoe and Cameron have disconnected for some reason. And yeah, that is... yeah, they've disconnected. So hopefully we don't have any desync or anything going on, I hope. As Swinner's... I saw it's just gone a little bit deep there, so he might lose a little bit of time. Smith HB down, but he's already pulled a 1.2 second lead of Swinner, so he is controlling this race. Out in front, Steve-O still pressuring Dan for P2 as well, so Steve-O could maybe be looking for a podium here. Have we got any gaps getting close? Roscoe still on the back of Warhead as he is now back, so maybe it was just a few connection issues we had. Scott is now right on the back of Roscoe though, because he's gone a little bit deep as towards the castle section we go. Warhead's gone very slowly through the castle section, and Roscoe's still right on the back of him, and this is really causing a train now, right behind.
Has Warhead got damage? Has Warhead got damage, perhaps? Yes, no, he doesn't. It's not visible anyway, but yeah, he's really not confident whatsoever. And yeah, the cars behind are just screaming that and losing so much time. He's lost 2 seconds vision already, as well as again, Spinners with an expertly managed restart, pulled 2 seconds on Smith HP Dam, and yeah, looking very, very good at the moment. I'm just going to keep an eye on everyone.
Smith HP Dan's lost it at the final corner. Run on board with Steve, and that's another car that has crashed at that final corner. That promotes Steve up into P2, and that is another car out. We're now down to 12 runners. Big Bad's looking to make the move on SLR. Marsh going down the inside into turn 1. Can he make it work, the AlphaTauri driver? Up into the podium positions he go. Can Marsh hold it round the outside though? The Mercedes looking to hold it very close to the wall, but Big Bag does go through up into P3 now.
Wow, I mean, yeah, yet another car, and that has crashed, and thankfully no one else managed to get caught up in that. But yeah, that is really unfortunate for Smith HP Dan. He's running an excellent P2. Yeah, he's just lost the car. Yeah, dropped right back down into retirement.
Cameron had a look down the inside of Roscoe there, going into turn 3, but has rightly backed out of it. Room wasn't quite there, as Roscoe's gone a bit deep again, so Cameron might be right on the back of him as they go towards turn 5, and he does not go for it just yet.
Roscoe does get a deep though.
Indeed he does.
Yeah, he's got a mega run, Cameron. Oh god, please don't go side by side through castle. Yeah, oh god, this could get ugly. This could get ugly.
No.
Oh no.
Cuts the corner, and he does go through. And Cameron now up into P8 now.
Yeah, we do avoid people going side by side through castle here, thank god.
Yeah.
That is a big relief. I did not want to see that. That's the last thing this race needs.
So then, it is Swinners who still leads then. 3 seconds is the gap now, out in front for the championship leader. So Steve-O in P2. Marsh still just about holding on in DRS range of Big Bag, who's also holding in DRS range of Steve-O as well. DRS should be enabled at the end of next lap.
Yeah, probably exit turn 2 as well, of course, between turns 2 and 3, it'll be enabled. But yeah, I think Big Bag does not want to waste time and does seem to have a bit better pace than Steve-O here. So potentially we could see a move for P2, but Marsh does not seem to have that same pace and confidence. Steve-O and Big Bag do seem to have the legs on him a bit, and yeah, Marsh is beginning to drop back a bit.
So then Big Bag is going to get DRS on Steve-O going down towards turn 3. Gap is around 4.5 tenths between the Alfa Romeo and the AlphaTauri. Half a second as they exit the corner. Is Big Bag going to be close enough to make the move on Steve-O? He's gaining. He's got the toe as well. He's used a little bit of battery to catch up, but he's not going to catch up enough, and he's going to wait behind.
Yeah, sensible driving that.
And this is going to be
driving that from Big Bag. Sensible driving that from Big Bag. There's still a good 14 laps remaining, and yeah, there's no point going for the move that early and risking both him and Steve-O's races. Just and yeah, could perhaps main straight. Drives from the pair of them though.
Indeed it is, yeah. They're both driven very, very well so far. But who's going to come out on top between them? Big Bag getting very close to Steve-O in the castle section. The rear tyre of Steve-O catching the wall there. Very, very close. And on the limit is Steve-O. Big Bag looking to get past the Alfa Romeo. And like I said, this has brought Marsh into play now, making it a 3-way battle for P2.
Yes, indeed it has. Marshy did. He was dropping back from Steve-O, and it was just him and Steve-O, but he's able to follow Big Bag a bit. He's finding a bit more confidence this month. And yeah, he's staying with them quite nicely. He does have a little bit less ERS, but yeah, here we are here for start lap 13. And yeah, it does look like Big Bag is going to have quite an easy move here on Steve-O. Steve-O's using his battery. I don't think it's going to do him much good. Big Bag feints the outside, goes to the inside, and yes, makes quite a nice move for P2.
I think Cameron's going to make the move on Scott as well for P7. Yes, he is. He's going to pull to the left-hand side, close to the pit wall, but he is going to go down the inside. Is Cameron up into P7, goes the Ferrari driver, but I think Scott might try and fight this one back as he goes towards turn 2 and turn 3 with the RS on the Ferrari again, but it looks like Cameron's got a better drive out the corner, and he's going to hold on to it now because of that.
Yeah, indeed he is. Indeed he is. He's... Although Scott potentially might try and move into turn 3 here. Cameron does go defensive. But as further back, actually, Flursh and JPP Gaming battling it out. Flursh up into P10. Final points scoring position.
To the points he goes then. SLR Flourish back into the points, shall I say. The Haas driver. And Roscoe catching up to Scott a bit now after the battling has been going on. Red Bull driver looking to get up into 8th place. Scott seems to be struggling now on those mediums. Losing a little bit of pace. And maybe Roscoe might be able to get past
damage,
Scott.
Potentially has damage. Or maybe he sustained some kind of side pod damage earlier on in the race, maybe. That we don't know about. Of course, he has been involved in a couple of incidents, has had a couple of brushes with the barrier. But yeah, this is not the same pace that we saw from Scott in qualifying. So yeah, I do expect there is something wrong with that McLaren car, and that's a lack of pace from him.
So then, what about SLR Marsh? Can he catch up on Steve-O? Steve-O's already lost that gap to Big Bag, so this might be Marsh might be able to get into the top 3 positions, do you think, going down the main straight?
Steve-O both using their battery. As Marsh now engages DRS, Steve-O's not using any of his battery there, and I think, yeah, he just realises that that is a fight that he cannot win, and for now at least, and Marsh goes through as Scott has now come into the pits. I don't know whether... Is this a front wing change potentially? There might be invisible front wing damage. Yeah, it was invisible front wing damage, yeah. That explains the lack of pace there from Scott.
So it's Popcorn Joe as well. I think he might have damage in Alpine. Yes, he is getting a new front wing down there, and he's going to get a fresh set of medium compound tyres, which he will take to the end of the race. Vision is now catching up to Steve-O now, so Steve-O seems to be really struggling now after losing that P2 spot.
Yeah, but at the moment he's keeping in the DRS of Marsh, and that is ahead of Vision. It's staying in the DRS of Marsh, and these guys will, on the mediums, 9-lap-old mediums. What do you do if you're them? Do you pit onto another set of mediums or a set of softs? Do you try and take them to the end of the race? They pit quite early on, I think on lap 3 or 4, but there has been that couple of safety cars there. What do you do if you're these guys?
It's going to be an interesting one, like you said, but we'll see if there's going to be another safety car later on in this race. 13 laps to go when they cross the line, or 12 laps to go when they cross the line. It will be Swinners still leading the Grand Prix though by 4.8 seconds. Stick on board with Vision, because it is 3.5 tenths as they go down the main straight. I think Steve-O is unfortunately going to lose another position down the main straight.
Yeah, he made quite a big mistake. He made quite a big mistake in that bunny hop corner. Yeah, really not liking that corner. Nearly hit the wall, but yeah, managed to avoid it. He's using quite a lot of battery to try and stay ahead of Vision. It doesn't look like Vision's close enough, oddly. He's got a bit of overspeed on Steve-O, but that is not going to be close enough to make a move. Yeah, he thinks about it, but as expected, not close enough.
Roscoe and Flourish, and Roscoe is going to pull into the pit lane, presumably with damage to that Red Bull car coming in now. And JPP Gaming right in the back of Flourish as well, and maybe looking to make the move going down into turn 3, but is he going to be close enough? We're going to go back on board with Vision though, because he's going to go get past Steve-O. The move he wanted to make down the main straight, he has made it work going down into turn 3 and up into P4 he goes now. JPP Gaming getting past Flourish and up into P8 now is the Mercedes driver going to the end of the race on those hards.
Yeah, indeed he is. Those two have traded positions a couple of times, but it's now JPP Gaming who is in that P8 spot. And interestingly, Swinners is not massively pulled away from Big Bag. Perhaps his tyre wear setting in on those older mediums, and Big Bag, despite that lower qualifying position than Swinners, is looking pretty good here.
Definitely is. Obviously, still needs to pit in this race, as a lot of people probably do as well. Lap 15 to 26 of this Grand Prix. Swinners has led the majority of it after pole sitter Primus Gaming unfortunately DNFing on the first lap, and Swinners looking to extend his lead at the top of the Division 4 standings. Steve-O is still holding with the second division here, so he might be able to pressure him going down into turn 1 if he can hold it. We've got yellow flags, and his Flourish has crashed. Are we going to get another safety car here? Yes, we are!
We are.
So that is really going to help Swinners here.
Oh, is it though? Is it though? I mean, like...
Yeah, I think the softs can't really... Is he going to start? He surely has to come in, but what's he going to go on to?
Yeah, you have to. You have to. The cars behind him will be able to go mediums. I think if you're Big Bag Marsh and Steve-O, you put on a set of mediums here. But if you're Swinners, yeah, you've got to go for softs, really.
He is.
And he has.
Those will not be healthy at the end of the Grand Prix.
Yeah, that is potentially going to be a bit of a curveball for this race for Swinners. And of course, Vision had to put on those softs as well, as he had not made a pit stop either.
JPP's came into the pit lane and he's got a 5-second time penalty to add to his woes. He's strapped on a fresh set of softs as well. Don't be surprised to see him in at the end of the next this lap to serve that penalty and come straight back out. Obviously, Scott's staying out. He pit not too long ago for the medium compound tyres. He's going to hold on to P9 as it stands, but it is Swinners who still leads them. We saw him coming for the fresh soft compound tyres, but he is going to be in a little bit of trouble at the end. Are we going to see punches like we saw in Bahrain, I believe we saw Swinners as well?
I don't think it's going to be punctures that's going to be the issue. I think it's going to be just how those tyres feel on lap 25 and 26. They'd have to take him 11 laps, those softs. A couple of those are going to be on the safety car, but yeah, that is pushing the softs to their limit. And Big Bag Marsh, Steve-O could be in a really good position here. Potentially, if the two around them of Swinners and Vision do fall off the cliff with their softs, like we do expect them to do near the end of the race.
So then, chaotic race it's been so far. Laps 16 out of 26, 11 drivers remaining in this race. It's the third full safety car we have seen in this race so far. After that collision we've just seen with SLR Flores losing it in the middle sector. But Big Bag making his way up into P2. Marsh in P3. Let's get the position graphic up once again. We'll see who's gained the most position. It is JPP Gaming and Marsh, the two Mercedes drivers having a good day so far. Marsh, who was the championship leader at one stage, maybe looking to try and claw that back a little bit now. But obviously, with the championship leader Swinners winning, I doubt that's going to happen. But again, are we going to see any more chaos at the end? With obviously Swinners' tyres.
I think we are. Yeah, and Visions as well, and JPP Gaming's. I think it's gonna. They should make it. They should make it to the end. They will. They will make it to the end. But the issue is that it is right on the edge of the amount of laps you want to take the softs, and yeah, I think it's gonna be like an ice rink. It's gonna be like an ice rink on the last couple of laps for Swinners. They're not going to have fun at all on those softs. What they really need is potentially a fourth safety car, and that would potentially help them.
JPP
make things a bit nicer. Yeah, JPP Gaming has decided to pit. Is he going to pit on set in mediums? Maybe. Yes, he does.
No, he's gone for a
He's serving a 5-second penalty as well.
Oh wait, no, yeah, there's because he hasn't changed them.
He's serving a 5-second penalty as well. Yep. So JPP Gaming will come to make it to the end, although he's not released his car from his pit box yet.
Yeah, I thought that was just a bug, but no, he didn't release his car. But yeah, it's not like he's going to lose that much. Maybe he's wanting the safety car to stay out an extra lap. I don't think it will. I think he should catch up just in time. So safety car should be in at the end of this lap, and we'll go back to green flag on lap 18, and it'll be 8 laps to go.
And the main mission here is Swinners is going to be getting that gap as quickly as he can. Big Bag Marsh. He needs as much of a gap as he can to them. Yeah, he needs to have as much of a gap as he possibly can to them before the end of this race. For when those softs do eventually die off, I'd give it probably about 4 or 5 laps before we do start to see the mediums be better than the softs at the end of this race.
Well, I think if there's one man you want from a safety car restart in Division 4, so, well, what we're seeing from this race especially, is Swinners, because he's been able to get that gap near enough instantly and pull the DRS gap. So we'll see if he can do it for the final, well, more than likely the final safety car of this race. But it's going to be whether he can manage that gap or not, because obviously with the softs, soft life around here, not being very good, mediums will come into play very quickly.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, indeed they will. I think I think that little bit of extra zip, a little bit of extra launch off those tyres on those softs is going to be massive for Swinners as well. But yeah, we have seen that he has been able to gap the rest of the field quite quickly here, and yeah, it is. Yeah, it's just a question about whether he can gap them by enough. So safety car's now coming in. So here we are, and can Swinners make the softs last quite comfortably?
We will see then. Championship leader taking us away for the third time in this Azerbaijan Grand Prix in Division 4. And we'll see if he can do what he can do in the previous safety car restarts.
Yeah, he's been going relatively early, actually, in those restarts. He's kind of been... I think he's kind of been looking behind him to see where the big bags are weaving, and then... Yeah, the car's kind of weaving, and then gone when they have. And yeah, he's done exactly the same trick as he had previously. Waiting for the car behind to weave a bit, but this time Big Bag has quite a good reaction compared to some of the others, and is staying reasonably with him as we're starting lap 18 of 26.
Scott's going to make the move. Yes, he is. On Warhead, he's going to go for P7 down the inside, going into turn 1. Scott makes his way up into 7th place in the McLaren now. And it looks like, who is that? I think that's JPP Gaming looking to make the move on Roscoe. He's going to brake a lot earlier and he's going to wait maybe later on in the lap. But Swinner's already pulling half a second then, is the race leader on those fresh softs. Maybe he hasn't got the gap he wants just yet. Remember, DRS will be enabled in 2 laps' time. Popcorn Joe making the move now on F1 Warhead. So Warhead maybe not having the best of restarts.
Yeah, Warhead's dropped down quite a bit, and yeah, look, is really... Yeah, he's not enjoying things at the moment, but he is... But he is still in the points-paying positions, and that is what matters. Swinners has now opened up a second, and that is crucial, really, because big gain any time with that DRS, and yeah, he has opened up that gap nicely. It's further back. Vision right on the back of Marsh as well. He does not have that luxury of pulling the gap as well, though, does he, Vision? He's got to stay at the pace of Marsh and Big Bag, and then eventually softs are going to begin to die.
DVR, as we're going to start lap 19 in just a minute as they round the proper final corner. Well, the theoretical final corner. What's happened?
Touched. Scott and Popcorn Joe. And Popcorn Joe into the last proper corner on the track, and I don't know whether potentially they just made a bit of contact as they were trying to go side by side, a little bit of racing contact, or whether Scott perhaps turned in on him. Either or, result, Popcorn Joe span and dropped back 3 seconds from the back of the field, and
another
as Primus reckons that this Primus reckons it's Big Bags to lose. I'm seeing a message in the chat. But yeah, I think it's this is going to be really this race decided in the final 3 or 4 laps.
We'd love to say later on the better to decide this race, and it is going to be very tight. Swinner's already pulling that 1.4 second gap, so when DRS is enabled next lap, he will not be under threat unless that gap does close up, which is definitely possible. And Vision also on the softs may struggle at the end as well, and he's also looking to catch SLR Marsh, who said hasn't got the luxury of that clearer air, and is definitely wanting to get the position as quickly as he can, so he doesn't have to worry about the tyres, but he definitely is at the end. He gets very, very close to the wall there.
Jeez, that is... You don't want to be doing that too often, Vision, otherwise you will end up with 3 wheels on your wagon and be out of this race. But yeah, he's still holding on pretty nicely there, his Vision. And yeah, clearly pushing the limits and wants to get past Marsh. I think Big Bag must have made a mistake as well, because Marsh briefly got on his DRS.
Indeed, yeah, the gap has opened up quite a bit more for the lead now, and I think the gaps are closing up here for the battle of a P8 between Warhead, Roscoe, and JPP Gaming has now been brought back into this after serving that drive-through. Was it him that got a drive-through? I think it was. But Roscoe closing up now on Warhead. Is he going to be close enough to make a move? Obviously DRS not on this lap. He will be on this next lap though. He is closing, but he's not going to close enough. It's still 4.5 tenths. Warhead using his battery to stay ahead. So he's going to hold on for the meantime. Vision is going to get DRS on SLR Marsh, so 7 tenths is the gap, but I don't think he's going to be close enough.
Yeah, Marsh using a bit of his battery, and I think he is going to be quite safe. We have seen Vision be sensible with these kind of situations in previous laps, and yeah, he does stick behind Marsh. and perhaps he's going to wait until the back
Oh!
straight, the start finish straight.
And Steve-O gone a bit deep, and Cameron followed him as well. Clipped the wall. I don't think he's got damage, and that's just brought Steve-O now back into play now for battle for P6. But Cameron very, very lucky to get away with no damage there, because he just about got the car stopped before hitting the wall. And yeah, indeed, this brings Scott with the battle for P5 as well, if they can catch back up to Steve-O a little bit. And this brought Warhead and Roscoe and even JPP Gaming into play now after all this.
I've seen someone's lost his wing. Is that Steve-O? Yes, it is. He's hit the wall of Castle. So Steve-O has made a mistake and he has lost his entire front wing. And so he's going to have to limp back to the pits, and that is a disaster for Steve-O. And yeah, he's going to be letting everyone go now. And yeah, that is so easy to do, and that is a real shame. That's going to drop Steve-O out of the points. As Primus said that he reckons softs can go 5 or 6 laps at maximum if you're pushing in racing conditions. I have to say, from a personal experience, they can go a bit more if you manage them. And if you risk going into puncture territory. So I think they will go to the race for Swinners.
Oh, and
but yeah, you only want to take them 5 or 6 though.
Vision's going to make the move. We've got a yellow flag. We've got another crash. It's Roscoe at the final corner again. It's another crash. Are we going to get a very late safety car? Don't think we are. Vision has made the move on Marsh. Up into P3 now goes the Haas driver. He also needs to manage his softs. But we're now down to only the top 10. And JPP Gaming has game into the pit lane, as well as Steve-O. And it looks like Scott and Warhead are going to go side by side. And two, and they crashed as well. No. Steve-O's in the wall and he's gone down the escape road. Warhead may have damage as well. Scott definitely does. And he's going to have to pit at the end of this lap for a new front wing as he clips the wall again. But chaos again at the end of this race.
Wow, that is yet more drivers picking up damage, and yeah, I mean, yeah, they're going to have to do an entire lap with that damage, and yeah, Scott is potentially going to be dropping down all the way into P10 once he makes that pit stop and would be plumb last.
Ooh, Marsh, that was very, very close.
Wow.
I was running ball with him through the castle, and how he didn't hit the wall was he got very, very lucky there to not hit it. And Vision is now closing up to Big Bag as well. He has gained time after getting past SLR Marsh, and he should be able to hold it in a second of Big Bag and might be able to make the move. Maybe not down into turn 1, but maybe going down into turn 3 if he's close enough. But the gap has now opened up. So is he going to be close enough to get the DRS? We will see. It's still opening up, so maybe Vision here, and Big Bag's having a really good stint on these mediums later on in the race. There's going to be 4 laps to go when we cross the line. Vision has hit the wall there, and hopefully he hasn't picked up damage. And Marsh is now back in DRS.
I think I'm flying awful lots. I'm having a look at the lap times, and that lap time there, Swinner still gained 6/10 on Big Bag. So at the moment his softs are fine, but that gap's going to keep on going down and down and down, that little delta, until eventually Big Bag starts becoming quicker. But he is running out of laps here, and at the moment Swinners is looking good to make it to the end of this race and take the victory. And if anything, Vision is looking better than Big Bag. So at the moment, the softs are still quicker than the mediums. As Scott now has eventually come in and served his pit stop and taken that and repaired his front wing.
He is going to drop down to P10. Obviously, if you finish the race now, points. So hopefully we don't see anyone else crash, as we have lost half the grid so far after what has been a chaotic Division 4 race, to say the least. And are we going to get any more chaos in the final few laps of the race? We will see. 6.5 tenths is the gap now between Vision and Big Bag. And he might be able to make the move down the main straight, but it seems like Big Bag is really gaining that gap back in the final sector.
Yes, he is. Vision looking a bit shaky there. And anyway, Big Bag's quite strong, but this time maybe Vision is going to be within that second. And potentially Big Bag's going to be looking behind him rather than ahead. And further ahead, I'm having a look at Swinners, and Swinners that's a lift there through the through the usually flat out section in sector 3. So that potentially signs that his tyres are starting to wear. Lap time from Swinners 33.9. Big Bag has done a 43.9, 43.6. Like 3/10 there as Big Bag on Swinners. He's brought the gap down a bit, so there's just 4 laps remaining. And he needs to bring the gap down by a bit more than that, but at the moment, Big Bag is faster than Swinners, so the gap is coming down, and this is going to come right down to the end.
And the gap is coming down for P5 as well between Cameron and Warhead. Warhead very close to Cameron now, looking to make the move, going down into turn 3. We've got yellow flags and Steve-O's crashed at the final corner. That's another casualty we've got, and we're going to be down to 9 now. We'll see his car on Steve-O's onboarding. Yes, that is, it's on the left-hand side, and he's lost the right wheel, so clearly hitting the right-hand side barrier. And another casualty in this race, unfortunately. And you can see the gap for the lead still coming down a little bit. Vision couldn't catch up enough, and Cameron did get past Warhead, and now up into P5 now.
Yeah, I mean, God, this is tense here for the victory. This is really tense. Vision somehow staying quite quick on those soft compound tyres compared to Swinners at least, and Big Bag bit by bit slowly reeling in Swinners. I still think at the moment I would rather be in Swinners' position than Big Bag's, because I think he actually has opened up the gap on this lap ever so slightly. But God, I mean, just the tyres, just lap on lap, it's not going to be. Really is not going to be pretty.
So then I think we'll stick on board with Vision as he is going to hold it within DRS, so he can close the gap a little bit. Actually, let's go back to F1 Warhead. He's closing up on Cameron again to battle for P5. And who is going to get it then between the Aston Martin and the Ferrari? He's closing. The gap is 2.5
Popcorn as well.
Popcorn Joe is joining this battle. So is Warhead going to make the move going down to turn 1? He pulls to the right hand side of the Ferrari. He's going to go around the outside of turn 1. He's going to make the move before they even reach a corner. And Warhead is now up into 5th place now, but Cameron might fight this one back going down into turn 3, do you think?
Yeah, but Cameron is on that 5-lap older tyres than Warhead, and perhaps did sustain damage. Oh, but never mind.
And there's another car out. We're down to 8 cars in this Azerbaijan Grand Prix, and that has just summed up this race, unfortunately. And it has to be one of the most chaotic races I've definitely commentated on in a very, very long time.
That's Baku. It's a legit car. As all of a sudden here, I think Swinners' tyres are beginning to hit the cliff. He's lost a significant amount of time to Big Bag, and with just 2 laps to remaining after this, Big Bag has closed in by a good 6 or 7 tenths on this lap. So this is most definitely race on for the front.
Indeed.
It's a 3-way battle for the lead as well. A 3-way fight for the win. And Swinners is going to be... He's just going to be just praying. He's counting those laps down and just hoping that he can make it to the end of the race. He still needs to preserve some rest in case Big Bag does get close enough to make a move. But he's going to start lap 25 there. And it does look like Big Bag actually has a bit better straight line speed as well. He's gained a lot on the straights in every single lap pretty much.
And Cameron's made a mistake.
So
He's got damage.
Sorry
to interrupt. Cameron has made damage. Got damage at the final corner. He's lost the back end. He actually might have got away with it, but Popcorn Joe now up into the top 5 positions. Vision's closing up on Big Bag again. Half a second, but the gap for the lead is closing. It's now below 2 seconds. This is going to be very, very tight.
This is going to be so tight. It's going to be so tight. Swillers had a really poor set to 2, I think, last lap, which is what partly caused the time to go down so much. And I can just imagine the nerves of these 3. They all know that they do have the victory, and they all know that one slight mistake and they could end up in the wall, especially Swinners and Vision with those really old soft. It's going to be horrible, but at the moment Swinners is still looking good for the victory. He's just got to make sure that Big Bag stays out of his DRS, and actually he's pulled away a bit this lap. He's managed to find a little bit more pace of Swinners. And if anything, Big Bag
under pressure from
Big
Vision.
Bag is the one that's struggling the most.
Indeed it is. Gap's now gone back up to 2.3, and yes, Big Bag is really under pressure here from Vision, so Vision might be able to snatch P2 here, going on to the final lap. And I've disconnected. Brilliant.
Oh, that is not ideal.
Online services ever, no way.
We're starting.
I'm gonna have to get.
I'll invite you back. Yeah.